Um, Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the July 28th meeting of the Lafayette Design Review Commission. I'm calling to order today's meeting. First item on the agenda, is the consent calendar. We do have the,
I'm sorry, Commissioner Hadlow, I think, roll call.
oh, sure, yeah, sorry for that. We are gonna do a roll call.
John Gray, present.
Travis Cowser, present.
Armand Hadou present. So we do have 3 of the 5 commissioners present and meet the quorum. Then I'm gonna move on to adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Yeah, I'll move to adopt.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next, for items not on, these are an upcoming agenda and within the purview of the commission. If you have any comments, submit to staff, or if you have any raised hands. Okay, thank you. Then we do have the draft meeting minutes from June 23rd meeting. Only Commissioner Gray was present in that meeting. If there are any comments, please.
Yeah, I have no comments on the minutes. They looked fine. However, because I'm the only one here who was present at that meeting, I suggest we continue it to the subsequent meeting.
Thank you.
Do we want to make a motion to?
So I will move to do that.
A
Second.
second. All right. All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye. So we are gonna move the approval of the meeting minutes from June 23rd to the next meeting. 6A SS 05-25, Objective Design Standards, Phase 2, Study Session to Initiate Housing Element Program 2.1A and 9.1A, Objective Design Standards for Multifamily, Commercial and Mixed-Use Development. Project planner is Stephanie Cervantes. And
there she is.
thank you. Yeah.
Hi,
please.
good evening. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, great. We don't have a formal presentation for you today. We just have just quick verbal presentation. As many of you know, we did have a study session with the City Council and Planning Commission and this body in June of this year. And during that meeting, we were directed to work more closely with the Design Review Commission. And so that's what we're here for today, is to set up a working group with 2 members of the DRC, and as well as confirm the public outreach and the timeline for the project as well. So we are asking the commission to pick 2 members that will be part of the working group, working closely with the consultant team and staff, and then just confirm the community outreach as stated in the report. Staff recommends that we eliminate the community questionnaire to be able to focus on the working group, and to have the community workshop possibly sometime later than previously anticipated. So right now, the current scope, the current timeline has it scheduled for October. We might need to move that probably in November. And so if you have any questions, specific questions for staff, we also have Lisa Weiss Consulting on the line as well that can answer any questions.
Thank you. What's the schedule of the working group and how many sessions? What's the frequency of those sessions?
Yeah, so right now we were hoping to have 2, possibly 3 meetings with the working group starting in August. And the timeline of how often that would meet, that would really depend on the working group themselves. Staff would recommend that we meet at least once a month, if not maybe bi-weekly, in order to try to keep that timeline moving.
That sounds good. And then are there,
And then I'll just add, it also depends on what kind of information and deliverables the working group needs in between meetings.
okay, thank you. Are there going to be any community meetings as part of the working group sessions too?
So yeah, so it is anticipated that once the working group has met 2 or 3 times, we will be bringing the documents the deliverables to the full DRC. That will be a public meeting that will be advertised. And then we are also hoping to have a community open house as well.
And who else is gonna be part of that working group?
I'm sorry?
Who else, I mean, which other committees are gonna be part of that working group?
It would just be DRC.
Okay, so just two members of the DRC? With
Yes,
the consultants?
yes, with the consultant and staff.
Okay. Any other questions? Do we need to volunteer now, or is it gonna be later during this meeting?
I would hope that the two commissioners who aren't here have the opportunity, since I think they may be very well suited
Right,
as participants,
right.
either or both. I know that suggests a delay.
I agree with that.
I agree too.
Okay, so potentially having another study session item to establish the working group.
If you are looking for two volunteers, I would like to volunteer. For the second one, do we have anybody else who wants to volunteer? Yes.
I'm interested but hesitant because of time commitment. But I suspect that either of the other commissioners may have more availability and the right skills.
Sure. So maybe for the second one, do we only need two, or could there be three?
We have a max of 2 just for Brown Act purposes.
Okay,
That makes sense.
So maybe we could follow up with the two commissioners not present to gauge if they would be
right.
enough.
Interested for the second
Mhm.
position.
Mhm.
I mean, I would say if neither of them have availability, I would do it, but I would suggest that one of them would and might be more available.
Okay, so the working group does need to be formed in a public manner. So staff, we can reach out to both members that are absent today. And if they are available and willing, we can just have that as a consent item for the next meeting.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, do we need to make a motion?
bef-
Is there gonna be public comment allowed on this?
Yeah.
I
yeah,
didn't comment
yes.
earlier because normally you don't comment in the first session on items on the agenda, but I would like to comment on this item.
For the study session, do we have any public? Okay, yeah. please.
Okay, first of all,
Oh,
none of
could you
you
please go to the
don't.
dais and
Yes,
introduce
please.
yourself, please?
Yeah, if you could stand right there and just introduce yourself.
Sure.
please.
Wait.
Thank you.
You want to stand here?
You get to be
Okay.
on camera.
I'm Elliot Hudson, and I moved to Lafayette for the first time in 1982. None of you know me, but I in fact have extensive involvement in the history of Lafayette when it comes to preserving the community character. We're having the same discussion today that we had in 2009 concerning the downtown specific plan, where I was very heavily involved in that. The current mission statement includes preserving Lafayette's small town character with a semi-rural ambiance. I think you can confirm with Susan Candell that I took the lead in that argument to get it into the mission statement. I have been extensively involved in the terraces when the property was supposed to be rezoned. There was a failure of staff that it was not rezoned, and that we now have the terraces today. But I have 16 years of experience in trying to preserve the character of Lafayette, and have been very heavily involved at different times. So I have a couple of comments about the task that you have before you. Nobody's done it. What you have to do to come up with the design standards that Lafayette needs, I don't believe anybody in the state has done. None of the design standards that you were sent by staff with this agenda would satisfy the criteria of objective design standards to preserve the appearance of the town that Lafayette residents love and have repeatedly said in surveys that they want preserved. We don't need another questionnaire before you do this work. So you have a really key task and a difficult task, and you're pioneers. Because what you have to do is write what buildings are going to look like in detail. That is not subject to interpretation or personal interpretation. It has to be objective, something that can be measured against a verifiable standard. That's going to be, like I said, nobody's done this. I question whether it can be done with the number of sessions and the timeline and the staffing or the membership that's been proposed here tonight. You're going to have to address things like, what do buildings look like? How do you write that? The standards that you've been given, which are showed pictures and make general statements, they're not objective standards. They would fail the legal test. I was a lawyer for 45 years before I retired. I can tell you, nothing you've been given meets the standard. You're going to have to write things about how much of facade wall can be windows, how much can be stucco, what building materials can you have, what kind of windows can you have, all of that in great detail.
I apologize, sorry, we are out of time. If you could just summarize, I appreciate that.
Okay. So what I would urge is that in doing this, you approach it on a limited basis. Don't try to write for every aesthetic. You'll never do it. And you'll never do it on an objective standard basis. I suggest you start simple. Look at 1,000 Dewing. Look at Town Center 2. Look at buildings that people can agree are Lafayette. And then figure out how to describe that in words. And then once you've done that, then you can begin to expand it. But get something down that is clear now. The last comment is, I would love to be involved in this process. There is nobody, and I mean nobody, that has argued more or more strongly or longer to preserve Lafayette's character than I have. And I don't mean to be immodest. It is deeply embedded in my love for this town. I would like to have a way to be involved with the working group. I think I can add, I've thought about this for a long time. I was involved in writing proposed standards for the downtown specific plan. The small committee they ultimately picked did their own job. But Guy Atwood and I wrote a complete set. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I think I can add to it. And I would dearly love a way to be involved with the working group.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
May we ask a question, speaker?
Sure, please.
So I do have a question for you. Obviously, many here in Lafayette are struggling with the density that the state is requiring of us.
Yes.
And the housing element has established allowable densities that we're not all comfortable with.
We can't do anything about that.
Do you, not to go into specifics, but just in general, do you feel that that you have thoughts that there is the potential to accomplish what the state is mandating and the same small town character objectives that we're trying to support here?
The state has unquestionably made it very difficult because of the simple mass of the buildings that they're requiring, but you can still design what they have to look like. It's not perfect. It's the best we can do. I would submit that as I said, 1,000 Dewing in Town Center 3, you can look at examples in Danville of architecture that it's not going to be perfect, because part of what has made Lafayette is the low height of buildings, the smaller mass. So the state has endangered it unquestionably, but we have to do what we can do. And that's the task we have now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And I have a question for Stephanie, if she's online. So how is the, community engagement? Should we, I mean, the first few meetings, it's the DRC members with the consultants, and then for the community to be able to be part of this process, it would be after those few meetings?
Yes, so the working group, as previously stated, would be DRC members with staff and the consultant team. After we met at least twice, possibly 3 times, whatever product comes out of that working group will be presented to the public. It will be made available for public review, will be brought back to this body for review of all 5 DRC members. That meeting will be publicly noticed. And then we will also have a community open house that will also be publicly noticed. Both of those staff is anticipating will be noticed, not just newspaper ads, but will also be in the weekly roundup and on our social media. We're working with our social media staff person to make sure that we get it all out through the different networking social networks that the city uses as well.
Great, thank you.
You get a one hand raised.
Sure.
All right, we have Susan Kendall. You are free to unmute.
Hey, everybody. Hi, Mayor Susan Candell, but I'm not here on that thing. But I've been really interested in this topic as well. And we don't have a city council meeting tonight, so I can actually listen to you guys. So I just want to back up everything that Elliot has said. I do want to possibly put out the thought that I know Glenn, your chair of this committee, has been very interested in this for very many years. And so I would suggest, and if you want to nominate 2 people, and then if that works, I mean, vote on at this meeting, that would be okay. If it doesn't work, then you have to bring it back at the next meeting. But there's a chance you guys could get 2 people nominated and voted on tonight, even if they're not present. So maybe that's something you can think of. Elliot is right. There's good ideas coming out of other cities. I know Glenn, for the past bunch of years, has just been looking at other buildings and trying to come up with ideas on how to make things prettier. I mean, how to make them look more like Lafayette, rather than something, you know, that looks kind of out of place in Lafayette. And I think we all know what those buildings are that don't look so much like what Lafayette has looked like for a long time. And so I encourage you, the 2 people that are going to be going in this working committee, to, you know, don't make perfect the enemy. It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be fast. We have a lot of projects and there's a lot of things coming in on the horizon. And so try to do your best to give at least, you know, 1 or 2 aesthetics that make sense for Lafayette, and then maybe we can work on more later. It's really holding true to me that right now our point system, like Glenn said, you know, I scored a project that was not great and I got a certain amount of points, and then we fixed it and got all these wonderful new things and it scored the same amount of points. And so obviously our point system is not working as well as intended. And I don't know if the point system is even the right thing to do, or whether you can establish things. You know, you can actually look at our SB9 exemptions and our standards. That was a concept that we were able to do and implement that were objective, maybe as a template also for these things that I know passed the legal savvy. So anyway, these are just ideas. Really encourage you guys to think outside of the box on this one and do something amazing and fabulous. So that's my thoughts. Thank you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate the comments. That all makes sense. So with that said, I think, so I'm happy to volunteer. And then we are gonna reach out to Glenn and Rich, see if they would be interested. And as John mentioned, I'm pretty sure that's.
Well, do we want to consider nominating one of them?
I feel like that's a little inappropriate. We don't know what's going on in their lives, how much capacity they have.
We don't, they could decline. That's true.
That's fair. Up to you. I'm not.
I think that Glenn is interested and I would support his nomination. I think he'd do a really good job.
I would too. Makes sense for the chair to be
Yeah,
involved.
I haven't met Glenn for a while, so I have reservations to nominate him, but since you have been in touch with him fairly recently and you feel I agree that he's a great candidate for this, so I'm happy to support his nomination as well. And if Glenn couldn't make it for any reason, then we could reach out, and John also mentioned that we would.
Yeah, I mean, I think Richard could do a great job too, but I think Glenn really is kind of a standout.
Right.
So nominating commissioner or chair.
So,
Cass.
so do we need to vote on that nomination?
You do. And then I would just also ask that you discuss and vote as well on the project, community outreach on the project, and the timeline as well. Essentially, the staff recommendation to eliminate the community questionnaire, if the commission agrees with that recommendation.
Can you elaborate on the elimination of the community questionnaire?
Yes, so as currently scoped out by Lisa Weiss, the project timeline and the project scope included doing a joint study session with this body planning commission and city council, which occurred last month. And then the project team was going to start working on a community questionnaire that was going to be launched citywide. That was going to be essentially the initial step. For community outreach, as well as one of the ways that the project team was going to obtain initial information of what the objective standards would look like. So we would be asking questions in order to obtain information about what the community wanted to see in future development. We received feedback from that joint study session that the project team should work with DRC first before we reach out to the community with any potential options. So that's what establishes the working group. And
Right.
also extends the timeline out a bit. However, due to budget, due to the timeline that we still want to get this done by early next year at the latest, we're running into an issue with budget and resources. And also just because we're going to be working with the working group, getting draft objective standards done, it doesn't make a lot of sense to go to the community at that point with a community questionnaire to get some of that initial feedback. We're hoping the working group is going to have, complete some of that kind of initial work of what those objective design standards are going to look like. So if the commission does want to have some sort of community questionnaire, it will look different than what we were initially anticipating, but we think that we're not going to need it because we're still going to have public meetings with the design commission and we're still going to have an open house.
Sure, that makes sense.
Stephanie, may I ask a question on that?
Yes.
You mentioned, and I certainly recall this, that there have been other community questionnaires, I think specific to the housing element, but I mean, that's the most relevant, I think. But other questionnaires, is there a way to pull some of that data to help inform the working group of community priorities?
Do you mean in terms of what was asked or in terms of responses?
The existing responses would give a sense of those people who are interested enough to respond, what their opinions are. And I think that would be valuable information to the group.
Yes, so the community outreach that was done for the housing element, it was a little before my time with the city, so I don't know all of the details of what was done, but my understanding is there was a community survey that was done, and staff can pull those results. I just don't know the details of what kind of questions were asked and what the response rate was, but if that is information that the working group is interested in or that the DRC is interested in, we can pull that information.
Yeah, I suspect you'll find a subset of the questions are very relevant, and I think the working group would find the results quite useful.
What's the date of that questionnaire? How dated is it?
I'm not sure. I would say maybe 2022.
Oh,
It's about right.
So I would think that that still represents current community feelings.
It does.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? So, who wants to make a motion?
I will move to nominate Glenn Cass, should he be willing, to serve on the working group on the objective design standards. Another piece. We have to say, and to support the staff recommendation to eliminate the future community questionnaire in place, trying to cull relevant data from prior questionnaire or questionnaires.
And I think would be good to add a note that staff is gonna share the previous questionnaire with
Yeah.
the working group.
I would say relevant questions and results.
Thank you. And I second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great, so we are gonna move on to the next item, 8A, new public hearings, S04-25, Horn BBQ C1 zoning, request for a sign permit to install one railing mounted internally illuminated sign measuring 50.88 square feet at 3422 Diablo Boulevard. We have the project planner, Ashley Brookshire, to present, please.
Hello, commissioners. I'm presenting today on a proposed sign permit for the installation of one new sign at 3422 Mount Diablo Boulevard.
Ashley, is this your first time joining us here?
No,
Did I apologize?
it's okay.
Nice to have met you before.
I'm actually, again,
Ashley,
yeah, any other questions?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Go
No
ahead.
worries.
I was just gonna welcome you, but you've already been welcomed.
The property is 23,958 square feet and is located on the east side of Lafayette's downtown, north of Mount Diablo and west of Brown Avenue. The zoning for this property is General Commercial 1, and it is located in the Downtown Specific Plans East End District. Existing development includes 3 buildings and a small parking lot. The project building is in the southwest corner of the parcel outlined in yellow here. And there's currently no permanent signage on it. The purpose of this project is to install one new sign that identifies the occupying business, Horn Barbecue. The project's principal business frontage is the southwest side of the building, which measures 64 feet. The sign ordinance allows up to 94 square feet in sign area for business frontages from 62.1 to 64 feet long. And the project proposes a total of 50.88 square feet in signage, so it would be compliant with sign area regulations. Staff also reviewed the proposal against the required design criteria for sign applications and found that the signs would be compliant with all criteria. The proposed sign would be a railing mounted internally illuminated sign that portrays the business name. The sign would be 5 inches thick and have black and white coloring. The sign would have white acrylic faces with black digital print and black aluminum returns. And the horn portion of the sign would also have UV laminate and a white outline. Here are the elevations showing what the sign would look like from Mount Diablo Boulevard. The sign is a total of 11 feet 7 inches long and 5 feet 7 inches tall. The sign would be internally illuminated by 60-watt white LED modules. Additionally, it would be bolted to the existing wooden railing. Here's a rendering of what the sign would look like at night before the restaurant has closed. The sign's illumination would be turned off at closing time of Horn Barbecue every day. Staff evaluated the project with CEQA and determined the project to be categorically exempt under accessory structures on premise signs. The project was referred to the following agencies and there were no notable comments. The project was noticed physically and by mail, and one public comment was received by neighbor Tommy Bernal in support of the project. Staff recommends the Design Review Commission finds the project exempt from CEQA and adopt DRC Resolution 2025-10, approving the project subject to conditions. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for staff? I have a question. Do we have a maximum wattage for the signs?
No, we do not.
Sounds good. Does applicant have a presentation?
It's very low wattage, it's all LED.
Right.
So that's, and then, like you said, it'll turn off on business hours.
Sure.
Nighttime and then off after they close.
Sure.
When they close.
And real quick, could you just state your name and relation to the
Once.
project?
I'm Gregory Gray, Golden Gate Sign. Been a sign designer for 50 years now. And get a lot of signs through, get back in the 70s and 80s. And press chair and all the signs. You know, I just sit at a desk and design.
Sure. Do you have anything to add to the presentation or have you?
No.
Okay,
It's just, yeah, I'm just here to answer any questions.
oh, sounds good. Do we have any public comments?
No hands are raised.
Okay. So we go to commissioners. Any comments?
Yeah, I do. I think that the character of the sign is nice. I like the kind of the brand that feels comfortable. My only concern is the size of the word horn. It is big. It is as big as a person and it's right next to a person. So to me, it feels outscaled with the building and the space. I would like to see the graphics stay generally the same, but maybe the word horn gets reduced in size so it doesn't break the line of the railing. I think it's awkward if you're a customer leaning on the railing, having that there anyway. So I would just suggest that maybe if the word horn is 3/4 the size of what's shown right there and you know, the scale is worked to keep it from breaking the railing, I would be more comfortable with the sign design.
Is there anything about the attachment that you have it that size? For example, you're attaching it to the bottom rail or?
It's attaching to the top and the bottom.
Okay.
It's wrought iron, so.
Right. So if the size is gonna get reduced, do you have enough connection to attach that?
Well, I think so, should be fine.
Okay.
I'd have to calculate it, see, you know, make sure we can get LEDs. I don't think they have any thin strokes in that other side.
Sure. Sure. I agree with John's point about the size of the letters and the size of the sign. It just feels too large, yeah. And just because it's at the eye elevation, it just feels like, you know, if that sign is above the awning or, you know, at a certain height, it doesn't look as much large, but this is fairly large.
Yeah, the thing that really brings it home is when your renderings where you see the people standing next to it and look at that relative scale.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So make it about quarter smaller.
I was something like that, but yes, and to keep it below the railing top.
Top of the railing, okay.
Right, like right now, I think it's saying 5'2" is the height of from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
The railing is 3'6", if you just make it about like 4 feet, that should work.
I mean, I think it looks nice at the bottom of the sign, overlaps the deck and has a sense of continuity. But it's just large and I think you understand my comment.
So do you want to make a motion, John?
So I think that I would be comfortable with staff review of a revised design. I don't think it needs to come back here. So I would say, we could find this exempt from CEQA. And accept the project subject to a design revision to reduce the size of the total sign to approximately 75%, such that the top of the sign does not extend above the railing.
And I second that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. So we approve the project with conditions. You're just gonna touch base with the staff for the next steps. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next item, art volunteer for Friday, August 1st at 9:30. Unfortunately, I can't go. Sorry.
Oh, gosh, are we all in trouble? It's,
Where's Glenn?
Glenn's probably, is Glenn out of town now and still out of
Glenn
town?
now is.
When he returns, but I know he's out of town currently.
Friday, the 1st at 9:30.
9:30.
Zoom.
I can do it.
You can do it.
Sure.
Thank you. Great. Commissioners report. Do we have any reports from commissioners? No. Staff liaisons report?
No.
Thank you. So with that, we are gonna adjourn the meeting. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks.